All right, guys, Josh Rubin here from East West Healing. Today I want to talk about the carrot salad. But before we get started, don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Hit that notification button so we put out a video every week. You get notified. And please like this video. Support us. It helps us a lot. Let's jump into this. Back in the early 2000s, I won an invite to this course called Functional Medicine University by Dr. Weatherby. I learned so much from him back in the day. That course isn't around anymore, unfortunately. It was probably one of the best courses I ever took, and that's when I first got introduced to the carrot. Not the carrot, but what the carrot can do and how it acts like activated charcoal. What's better than using a food supplement than having to buy a supplement and utilize it and think about the implications of what it can do to us long-term possibly, versus just get a food from nature that can do the same thing that we can use all the time. So much more benefit to this. After that, which is really interesting, the universe put Ray Peat in front of me, who was really big on the raw carrot salad and what it does and how it supports gut inflammation and the thyroid. Now, we'll go into what it does and how you use it, but there's a little backstory to kind of the importance of it. And there's a bacteria called endotoxin or lipopolysaccharide. And we naturally have the ability to detoxify this through phase 1-2 detoxification, get it out of the system. Our bile acids kind of act like a detergent to protect us from it. And there's really no harm that this bacteria can do. Right? You have to begin to trust our body and what it can do. If we give our body what it needs every day from how we eat and how we live and how we think and how we breathe, and we create this nice, balanced, supportive environment so our body and our physiology can unfold, the body will do exactly what it's designed to do, and that's create health. I don't mean OCD, meaning take tons of supplements and think you need to do red light therapy every day and do all these things to thrive, right? Because if you pull all those away, what's left? Nothing, right? I'm just saying living and eating in a way that allows you to find that balance point and enjoy health as a part of your life, not this obsessive piece of your life. So when we support that, we can detoxify endotoxin, right? We can actually prevent the recirculation of estrogen back into the system and detoxify the bad pieces of estrogen and bring back in what we need, right? That's normally what happens in this nice homeostatic environment. But through life, through trauma, through malnutrition, overtraining, chronic stress, dieting, all these things, what happens is the ability of the body to do what it's designed to do goes down. That's why we're seeing SIBO, histamine issues, MTHFR, an onslaught of autoimmune diseases. I can't eat these foods. I'm intolerant to these foods. Our bodies are turning on us, and now we can't eat the very thing we need to eat, which is food to survive in this life, right? We have a problem. Now, when this comes around, we could say we're in a hypometabolic, hypothyroid state, right? And Broda Barnes showed that when we're in this state, because of what happens to our blood sugar, our inability to store energy and produce energy, we create this inflammatory environment. And now the liver becomes sluggish. It can't do what it's designed to do. Not just detoxify, but even store minerals in A, B, C, D, E, F, G, because it does so much more than just detoxify and store minerals, right? Store glycogen, the list goes on. So now we cannot detoxify endotoxin, and it makes its way recirculating back into the GI system. Now we can't detoxify estrogen, and it makes its way back into the system and into the cell. This perpetuates the inflammatory response. This is not where we want to be. And most research shows that endotoxin itself can create such an immune system response, and because of course most of your immune system is in your gut, and this is why we're seeing such an influx of autoimmunity in our society today. I'm not sure I 100% agree that endotoxin is the only issue, of course, because if we peel back the layers, it's chronic stress. Because if we live in a way to regulate and support our physiology, we can detoxify it. It's chronic stress that decreases our ability to do that, right? So I agree with it, but don't. And of course, there's more to it, but we're just focusing on this one piece. So when it makes its way back into circulation, this is a problem, of course, and it supports It's not the only reason, but it supports the onslaught of disorders and diseases we're seeing today, especially Hashimoto's, right? Back in the day when we started in this industry, me and my wife, we rarely worked with people with Hashimoto's. Rarely. This is 20 years ago. Now that's all we talk about is Hashimoto's. So now what happens is, of course, we produce thyroid hormone and it has to be converted. Most of it's converted in the periphery, right? We convert it in the liver and so forth, but 20% of it is actually converted in the gut through intestinal sulfatase. Inactive thyroid hormone T4 is converted to active hormone T3 in the gut, believe it or not. The problem is when that endotoxin is recirculating and that estrogen is recirculating, it's been shown that that conversion goes down to nothing. You see an increase in TSH, you see an effect on the thyroid receptor sites, and you see reverse T3 go up. So if we support the body, we're supporting thyroid hormone conversion. If we don't, the body ends up in an inflammatory state and we can't do what we're designed to do, of course the body starts turning against us and we have this thyroid conversion disorder. Is it a thyroid problem? Sometimes it is and sometimes it isn't, but a lot of the times it's a conversion issue because of chronic stress, causing inflammation, causing the inability to detoxify endotoxin and estrogen, leading to a conversion problem. Is the solution a medication? Well, a lot of doctors think it is. This is a medical advice, but a lot of the problem is the chronic stress that's causing our inability to detoxify, that's causing the conversion issue. So this is where the raw carrot salad comes in. Now, of course, there's so much more to this story. This is a YouTube. This isn't a personalized treatment plan. There's a lot that has to happen, and it depends on the individual in front of us. But a great addition that you can add to whatever you're doing is the raw carrot salad. Now, a lot of people get caught up on, should I make a raw carrot salad? Should I add coconut oil? Should I add apple cider vinegar? Should I slice it, dice it, chop it? It doesn't matter. Just eat the carrot. Doesn't matter how you slice it and dice it. It does exactly the same thing. Now, our rule is, I don't care if you have a salad or if you cut it up and you eat it like a rabbit. Just eat the carrot. We recommend most people starting with once a day, sometime mid-morning or sometime mid-afternoon. Why? Well, number one, what we've seen clinically is we haven't seen it really work for people first thing in the morning or the last thing at night. And we have not seen it work for people when they eat it on their own during the day and not with a meal. We've actually seen it work against people from the standpoint of creating stability in their blood sugar, stability in their energy levels, and stability in their body temperature and pulse. So we always recommend that people have it with a meal as a supplement. So you wouldn't use it as a carb. You wouldn't say, I had a piece of steak and a carrot salad as my protein and carb. You would say, I had a piece of steak with a sweet potato and a carrot salad as my supplement. Or, a steak with squash, or a steak with fruit, or a steak with fruit and roots, or a steak with, fruit and squash with the carrot salad. You always need that protein and carb. It always has to be with a meal. The second thing is why mid-morning and why mid-afternoon or mid-afternoon is because if you look at that bell curve or our circadian rhythm, that's where we start to go up and that's where we start to come down. That's where we need the most support. We're not in our peak metabolic state. It supports the adrenal thyroid nervous system relationship. So we like putting it there. Now, if it works for you, great. That's amazing. Some people need to add another one. So you would do it mid-morning and mid-afternoon. Blanket those parts of the day. But start with once a day. More is not better in this situation because what you see sometimes is people start getting orange calluses on their hands and orange calluses on their feet. And this means you're just getting too much beta carotene. You're not able to process it. And you need to cut the carrot out and get more retinol from your foods like fatty fish, salmon, mackerel, sardines, organ meats like liver and kidney, etc. Dairy that doesn't have added synthetic A, whole food dairy, and eggs, right? An alternative would be using bamboo shoots and adding that to your meal as well. It's been shown that the fiber in that does the same thing. So that's really what's happening with the raw carrot salad is we're not using it for the beta carotene because that's not vitamin A, that's not retinol. We're actually using it for the fiber that's in it. We can't break down that fiber, and that fiber has been shown to do exactly the same thing as activated charcoal, to bind to endotoxin and that recirculating estrogen and help us get it out of the body. Now, it's not something you're going to do and go, oh my God, I feel a difference. This is amazing. It's layers. It's doing it day after day after day and being consistent with it, right? It's like putting a grain of salt on the table. You can't see it, but if you do it day after day after day after day, it's going to add up, right? So that consistency really matters when we're talking about the carrot salad. So our rule of thumb is mid-morning or mid-afternoon or both, always with a meal. It doesn't matter if you slice it or dice it or eat it like a rabbit, you just got to eat the carrot. If you're turning orange, use bamboo shoots and get more retinol-rich foods in your diet. Don't overdo it. It's not an end-all be-all. It's going to support everything else you're doing. Your food foundation has to be there first, so to support what you're doing with a carrot salad. Because if you're not changing how you're living and you're not changing how you're eating and you're not changing that chronic stress in the environment, with the carrot salad, all you're doing is taking one step forward and one step back. Thanks for tuning in. I'm out. Peace.